Thank you for bringing everyone. Yeah, this is my first lecture, but I prepared this and I was so excited to do that. It is a challenging, but it's doing that we practice and get better. So this part, it's from the gospel, right? Pride and humility. And I advise you guys to read the whole chapter because every item has a particular purpose and order. And this one gets pride and humility, which it repeats over and over in many passages of the gospel, right? Because I guess something that we need to listen. And here on the chapter 10, because actually we are studying that, there's a passage that say pride might be found, right, to be the basis and the motive of for near all actions. That is why Jesus devoted himself to fighting as the main obstacle to progress. So from pride, we have many vices, right? We lack charity, we lack love to God, to ourselves and to our neighbors, and so many other vices. Here, I choose to talk about two character, two stories that it impacted, at least when I read the book 2,000 years ago, and the whole series for the 2,000 years ago, starting with the sort of Publius Lentus. It was a Roman senator. He was one of the incarnations of Emmanuel, and this book was the best book I read. And then came the next one, it's 50 years after, and then all the series for Emmanuel kids. It's very emotional, and we learned so much with that. And Publius, I apologize if I am spoiling the story for someone who haven't read the book, but it is because this book, it teaches so much, and Emmanuel he's just so great, great writer, great teacher, and sharing his story with us, it is such a charity, right? That we can look at his life, look what he went through it, and apply to us, right? For like a fact, Publius was a Roman senator, and he has a wife, Livia, and a daughter, Flavia, and his daughter was sick, really, really sick, and his wife, which later on converted to Christianity, which was such a good soul and good heart, and she fell in love with the teachings of Jesus, even though she was a wife of the Roman senator. She couldn't explicitly show her admiration for Jesus, but she met Jesus. She went to his teachings, and looking, and she begged Publius, her husband, to go and search and meet Jesus, because Jesus was in that time in the area, and many people saying he cured many people. He was cured the blind and many of the sick, and as a mother, and I believe that her daughter has Hanseníase, right? And so in one evening, he went to this place where Jesus used to be, and he chose the evening to go because as a Roman senator, he don't want to be seen with Jesus, right? And that was a really beautiful passage, and uh, because it can show so much us what we like we doing in our life. So Jesus asked Publio, right, Senator, why you're looking for me, right? And he was like when he saw Jesus coming, he looked at that figure and he was already impressed by the power, right? That involved the figure of Jesus, and Publio, and then Jesus also and told him it was better for you to seek me in public and at the clearest hour of the day, so that you could acquire at once and for life the sublime lesson of faith and humility. And it's interesting why Jesus said that and why Publio looked for Jesus in the evening, right? Because he had a lot of pride, right? And he don't want to be seen with Jesus. And I I took this point of view in one of the tests in the FED, like the Spirit Federation. I thought that the writer put this in such a good way, what the meaning of seeking Jesus in the evening, right? Of course, pride, but in some way, it's just like Jesus talking with us, and we kind of doing this too, right? When we prioritize the terrestrial values over spiritual conquest, transitory to permanent, and illusory to eternal, true, and suffering over happiness, right? Because so many times in our lives, because of pride, we act like Emmanuel, right? And pride itself, and it's Emmanuel that give this lesson, like showing us to ourselves. It is a really hard burden because if you think that you place yourself above others, you consider yourself better than anyone, and if you every day you get up and going to work, even driving, you put you have carrying this pride, you make effort every day to be better than somebody else. And what is the chances in a day we're gonna meet someone that it's better than us? 100% of chance, and many times, right? That's something it's really hard to. It is. That's why I said it's such a heavy burden because you always try to compare yourself with other people and be better, but not be better. Um, uh, be better. Compare yourself like I'm gonna be a better version of me, right? But if you always want to be better than someone else, you will never get there because we are unique, right? We are different. We can't compare ourselves with other people. So, and on that passage, right, that accepting the Jesus invitation, right? What is required for that, Nat, for us to accept the invitation he did for that he invited Publius. First is to acknowledge how vulnerable we are in the flesh when we are incarnated, right? We are vulnerable. We are. And accept our imperfections, that we are here learning, and it's okay to be imperfect. We have like eternity to evolve, and definitely detach ourselves for all the earthly values and definitely put spiritual values above all, right? Like forgiveness over, right, the pride and so many of the things that hold us back. And continuing another story that he told, like Jesus said to Emmanuel, that he did not come to supreme laws of nature, and he said that he came to meet your faint heart, because he know that Publio was having a lot of conflict in his heart, right? And it is on the passage is so it's so profound, because Jesus he's starting to think he was dreaming, right? That was not happening, and Jesus could read this in his mind, and then how that answer that after the long years that they were from the right path through the path of cleansing, today you find a point of reference for the regeneration of your entire life. That's very powerful. And imagine, let's put ourselves that Jesus offer the path where we change our whole life, right? And that was the decisive moment in his existence. And Jesus in the offer, now you want to take advantage now or in a few millennia. Not judging Emmanuel, not judging Publius, right? He chose to go through a millennia where he was not ready to accept that path that Jesus offered to him that time. And
Chris, who is Emmanuel?
Publius. Emmanuel is the spirit, and then Publius was one of his incarnation on the book 2,000 years ago.
Okay,
sorry, is it? Yeah, no. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's so I'm so familiar with Emmanuel that I'm assuming everyone knows, right? Yeah. The book 2,000 years ago. It's the first book of the series of books that the Spirit Emmanuel, which was the mentor of Chico Xavier, right? For many years, that his first, like the first book that show the series of incarnation, then the second 50 years ago, and then Ave Cristo. There is the whole series that you understand, and I really recommend you guys read, because it will show that path that Publius chose gets a millennia, because not accepting Jesus' invitation that time, he went through a lot of suffering because of his pride, and of course because of so many of the vice he had, and like all of us, right? And he, in the book, said when he was talking with Publius, Jesus was talking, Flavia, his daughter, he was at home with his wife, starting to be cured. So he cured the Publius daughter from the distance. But in the book, he said that the cure for Flavia, he was Publius' daughter, was because of Publius' wife, because of her faith and humility, right? So that's why the cure proceeded. So that's an amazing story, that for us to put ourselves every day, big decisions, small decisions, the invitations that Jesus gave, putting our day for us to take the path of like the easy one, and the happiness is not the hard one, right? When we put our pride in front of us, we choose the path of suffering and struggles, right? So, talking about humility and Emmanuel, que é the Spirit da República, né, in the book Thought and Life, né, Pensamento e Vida, give it's at least explaining how is humility, because sometimes it is hard even to us to understand what is humility, because like he said, it's not bondage, right? It's above all is independence, inner freedom, that's born from the depths of the spirit to support its permanent renewal for good. And I think the word independence, inner freedom, it is just so powerful, because it is like you break the chains that make you like that have a burden to be like better and to hold on that pride every day in your life, right? So I'm sorry. So for the humility, I choose the story of Zacchaeus on the book by Amélia Rodrigues, it's called Prelude to the Divine Kingdom. And it's an amazing book. And I never saw Zacchaeus the way she put it. Yeah, and it's such a really beautiful example, because Zacchaeus, it was a publican, so he was a tax collector. Also in the time Jesus was 2,000 years ago, right? And he lived in Jericho. Now, Jericho was a city on the way to Jerusalem, right? And just explains publican, because the tax the Jews hated the publicans because they are treated with, they work tax collector and they work for the invaders at the home. And so like she put here like Zacchaeus, through public action, he had acquired the right to collect taxes in Jericho, and with them the curse of legacy, because everyone really hated the publicans. They were traitors, they exploit them. So it was for the Zacchaeus profession, right? So on the, sorry, okay, just make sure I'm in the right. So Zacchaeus was really rich. He acquired a fortune and he lived in this huge mansion. And it's so interesting, like she put, like he acquired so many goods and arts because his heart was so empty, right? He acquired all these beautiful things that in his trips all over the country, and trying to, with all that art, to really fulfill the emptiness of his heart, right? When he heard of Jesus, and he almost couldn't believe, because people told him that Jesus was ate with the sinners, talk with the publicans, and he said he couldn't believe that someone could love unconditional like Jesus. So, and despite that, he, like, the whole city hate him, and he worked for the Roman, Zacchaeus actually helped the poor to ease their pain and loneliness. Yeah, because like he kind of empathized with the suffering of the poor, because even though he was rich, he suffered loneliness too. So when he heard like Jesus was passing through Jericho on his Jerusalem, he just went like, I need to see him. I need to see him. He thought like, I don't dare to speak with him, but I need to see him. And Zacchaeus was short in the size. So if you imagine it, like a bunch of people always around Jesus, and then he thought, I need to see him, but I can't. I'm not tall person, right? So he saw the tree and he climbed sycamore tree, right? Because he wanted to see Jesus. When Jesus was passing close to the sycamore tree, he stopped and looked at Zacchaeus, the man in the tree. And this passage is absolutely beautiful because when Zacchaeus met Jesus was look him. He almost couldn't believe that man with this. He described like this amazing, like a light evoked him. Could look at him, someone so detested, someone that considered not worth it, even to Jesus looked at him. And it is interesting because, like Amelia said, his whole life, like a flash, passed through his mind, and he assessing himself, he evaluating himself, and that moment that Jesus looked at him. And Jesus not only looked at him, talk with him, right? He said, Zacchaeus, hurry down, for today I should lodge in your house. He was like astonished, right? But it's so beautiful because even though he was paralyzed, but what is happening? This man is going to my home. I can't believe it. He kept down the tree and he rushed to his house. And this passage is so beautiful too because he's starting to. He met his wife and then told her, and she was so emotional too. And he's starting to organizing his home in a way that to become humble, right? The house and that he will become like worth in humility, like to receive Jesus, right? And it's beautiful because all this going on in his mind, he will come to my home, like he, my only friend, right? Who needs another friend, right? Have Jesus. So when Jesus was going to his house, and he was there waiting for him with his family, the people started to shoot and asking Jesus, are you going to spend the night in the house of this publican, right? And this, I mean, for me, it's very powerful because instead of being silent, he jumped ahead and said, no. And Amelia, this like he was like a stammer. I give, to the poor half of my goods. And if I have cheated to anyone in any matter, I will repay him for it, because he don't want to lose the opportunity. He was committed to transform himself in that day. He was committed to accept that invitation that Jesus was giving to him. Yeah. So Jesus, and it's beautiful because Amelia said, smile, and said in this calm voice that today salvation has come to this house because of this, and he too is a son bound. So with this sentence, Jesus was really happy because he saw someone that accept the transformation of his heart, right? And Amelia also put, why why Zacchaeus received like that blessing? Because he make himself humble, and then he became warfare, right? He submitted to me humiliation, and because of that, he glorified himself. The opposite of Publio, he didn't care to be humiliated, and he did not stop. He said, "This is the chance of my existence, and I will do everything that I can to not lose it." Yeah, it's really powerful, beautiful, because we can put ourselves, and when those invitations come to us, and so many times for our transformation, we don't see it. And fortunately, Zacchaeus saw it. It's really beautiful. And Amelia and Amelia Rodriguez account that after that he really did, right, on the book. He 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 gave the fortune to the poor, and he gave for the people that he exploited. And after that, I think it is like advised by Peter. He went and initiated a Christian church. Yeah, it's really beautiful, because we criticize people with, because they have always thinking like it, because they have power, because they have money, they are full of pride. And Zacchaeus, even though yes, he did wrongdoings in his life, but he also took opportunity to transform himself, right? And it's really powerful, that for us to see in our everyday life, and a big decision, small, like when we act as Emmanuel, or like as a Publio, like not accepting the path of a redemption, and not taking the burden like Jesus offered for Emmanuel, and or do it like Zacchaeus, right? Like getting accepting transformation, and not be in and make the movement. Yeah, because when he climbed the tree, that it's very powerful. And I was listening to Haroldo. Haroldo said something. He said the Bible tell real stories with abstract lessons. Yeah, I thought, oh, and he said again, the Bible tells real stories, but the lessons are abstract. For us to go deep in each moment on those passages, and bring to our lives, right? Bring to like, because that Zacchaeus, because he was short in size, he did not give up. Look around, I have to see him. I want. I got it there, but my internet showed that it's unstable. Well, I think I finished a little bit, few minutes um, early. And now we're going to, maybe I hope you guys take these two stories and go deep and read. And it's for us to incorporate in our own life, right? And learn, yeah, shed the pride, and acquire the virtue of humility. And also know in many actions, because sometimes we don't even identify our actions being an action of pride, right? That's also things like lack of forgiveness, not accepting when we make mistakes, right? All those things, it is pride acting in us. And take what Jesus showed, that if we shed the pride, our life is going to be way easier, right?